Why is this the perfect time for QLA? That's a good question. And yesterday, Sunday, we had a VIP meeting, and I was asked by one of the attendees, you and Dan talk about this is the time for QLA, but I don't understand why is that, Bruce? And that's a really good question. And for a lot of people who are just doing QLA, they may not appreciate what the days of, as Dan calls it, the shoe leather was like. And let me give you an example of that. In the old days, if I was going to meet with someone, whether that was a board member, a law firm, or an accounting firm, or an acquisition, I would have to, when I lived in New York, get up, get on the train, take the train, which was an hour, hour and a half, maybe longer if there were problems, into Grand Central Station in New York. Then I'd have to either walk if it was close enough, or take a cab, or take a subway to wherever that meeting was. Then I'd have to meet. Usually that was somewhere around midday, so oftentimes it was lunch involved in that. And then unless I had other meetings in that time frame, I would have to schlep back to Grand Central Station somehow, get on a train, go back up north to eventually get home. And that could take a whole day for one meeting. And I mentioned to this person yesterday that when I was assembling the accounting and law firms, we ended up talking to 3 accounting firms in 2.5 hours by Zoom. And in the old days, I would have had to schlep to Boston, I would have had to schlep to New York, probably would have taken 2 or 3 days to get all that done. So for those that haven't lived through that experience, I just think it's so different today with COVID. Everything is being done with Zoom calls initially. Yes, you still have to visit an acquisition, but the initial board selection, accountants and lawyers, all of that's done with Zoom. And there's 2 functions to that. One is the time that you have to devote previously to the way it can be done today. And 2, for a lot of people who are just starting QLA, they don't have a whole lot of financial resources. So when they were trying to get a board member in some distant location, and the board member said, yeah, this sounds interesting. Why don't you come down and we'll meet and have coffee or dinner and talk about it. They'd have to either drive or get on an airplane or a train or however else they could get there. And a lot of them didn't have the wherewithal financially to be able to do that. So that's a big advantage in today's world. Additionally, businesses are on sale in many cases, not all. And so the buying opportunity is better. And also, don't discount what you're offering to these sellers. Is that most of the time people just focus on price. And in terms of bringing people on board, it's much more than that. When I talk about bringing people on board, I'm talking about acquisitions. This has been a scary time through COVID for many. And for many entrepreneurs that have run businesses, they've had to deal with things that they never thought that they would, and they've had to deal with things on their own for the most part. So don't underestimate the amount of help that an experienced team, i.e. your dream team or board, can give to an entrepreneur like that, and essentially be a steady hand on the tiller, if you will. So those are just a few of the reasons why this time is so perfect for QLA, in my opinion and Dan's opinion. This will not last forever. This is a window of opportunity. I would encourage you to take advantage of it. If you don't, you will look back on this time and say, why did I not give it everything that I had to take advantage of this opportunity? And realize just how special this time is and how much of a tool Zoom is in terms of saving you time, saving you money to be able to do these things. We didn't have the tools of LinkedIn in the beginning. We didn't have email in the very beginning. And all of those tools let you communicate in a much crisper way, much more efficiently, and at much lower cost. So I thought it was important to pass that along. And every day I'd encourage you to take action towards your QLA goal. And if you have that on a daily basis and you keep working that plan, and your plan is a good plan, I think you're going to be happy with how this turns out for you. Okay, so if you've got any ideas for future podcasts, I'd love to hear those. You just go ahead and email me at bruce@brucewhipple.com. And if you go over to brucewhipple.com, go ahead and grab the free class. It's brucewhipple.com/free class. I look forward to hearing from you. And remember, this is QLA's time. There is a lot of free information you can use to acquire already profitable businesses. This is Bruce Whipple. Thanks for listening to the Business Acquisition Podcast. And remember, you miss 100% of the opportunities you fail to take. And procrastination truly is the thief of time. So do something today, please. Your future self will be proud of.